What's up, Vibers? What's going on?
Oh, there he is.
Hey, what's
Live
going on,
from Rhode
guys?
Island over there. The man, the myth, the legend, Goumba
Legend.
Johnny.
How are you?
Good, how
We
you
are
doing?
good. Pleasure to have you.
I'm doing good, yeah. Tom Selleck gave it to me.
Yeah. First, hey, let's get to important questions. How's the pizza in Rhode Island?
I wish I knew. I'm on a diet, and I'm not.
Smart man. Hey, you know what? It may be considered a diet because I think they're serving cardboard over there for the pizza.
No, I have to tell you, I've spent a lot of time in Rhode Island, and the Italian food here is pretty damn good.
You know what? If you're endorsing it, then it's got to be good.
Oh yeah, believe me, there's a lot of Italians in Rhode Island and Connecticut. It's unbelievable.
Somewhere in Rhode Island, you're getting a free meal tonight for that comment.
Shout him out. Shout someone out. I'll hook you up.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into the interview. We have Goumba Johnny here, comedian, just legend, Italian treasure, actor, author, radio personality. You know, time is money, so let's get into it. You've been synonymous with music and comedy. Tell us what music and comedy mean to you.
You know, it's funny. I mean, I didn't have a family that, you know, nobody came from a real musical background or had a tremendous love of music. And I didn't really start paying attention to the radio until I was in my late teens. And then I started to really get into music. And a lot of the music I got into originally was rock. And then I more or less grew up around the disco era, you know, and then the movie Saturday Night Fever came out. And it was all about music. It was all about dancing, which wasn't good for me because I wasn't a good dancer.
But so, you were funny.
I think
that's number one, make the girls laugh.
I think I had to become funny because I was such a lousy dancer.
That's how it works.
I think you guys solved the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can't sing, but I could dance. So like that's how I like karaoke night, no good. You know, dance floor, I'm good to go.
Yeah, you know, I remember I was in college once, and I don't know, some kind of psychology class, and the doctor went around the room and he said, if there was one thing that you could do, what would it be? You know, that you can't do, you feel like you can't do, and I said, sing and dance. And he goes, you know, and people started to laugh because I was about 265 pounds at the time. So I don't think anybody wanted to see me dance.
But well, he can eat though.
Yeah, at that time, yeah.
Oh man. All right, so let's talk about you growing up, where you came up, and you know, influences, Italian culture, growing up, everything, and how you got into comedy.
Well, the Italian part is real easy. I grew up in the Bronx on Seymour Avenue, and we lived in a 4-story walk-up, and half the building was like my family. And I went to Holy Rosary down the street, and I ate with my grandmother and my uncles almost every day. And I got to sample every other Italian family in the building's food. We lived on the top floor. So when I would come home from school, by the time I got to the top floor, I was like, I ate 4 times.
They're handing everything out the door to you. Yep.
Every door was open. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Back in the day, it was open, and you could smell what people were cooking for dinner, and you know, all the families. You know, different women and grandmothers were known for different dishes, and so on and so forth. And they exchanged recipes and food, and I had an unbelievable Italian-American upbringing. And then when I went to high school, I went to high school in Yonkers. I went to Lincoln High School in Yonkers and played football there. And, you know, went to college, played football there, went to State University at Brockport. And then I got out and I kind of bounced around. And then in my 20s, I was managing a comedy club in Yonkers. And one day, some of the comedians didn't show up, and then I had to go on stage.
Wow.
And more or less host a show. And it was kind of like trial through fire. And I got my first laugh, not on my first joke, but I got my first laugh that night, and I got the bug.
So you're like the Wally Pipp of comedy over there.
I don't know about the Wally Pipp, but yeah, it was very accidental, if that's what you mean. I had no I never had any desire to be a comedian or a radio personality or an actor. And in high school, I probably would have been voted least likely to write a book.
Define the odds.
Yeah. Well,
book by its cover.
Well, you guys will find out. I mean, you guys are young. You'll understand. Sometimes you choose a career, and sometimes a career chooses you. And for me, it was, everything that happened to me good was more or less a little bit of destiny. So, in that respect, my life is pretty interesting.
You can't fight fate sometimes.
You can't beat fate. That's for sure.
You can't be. That's true. And at your building, you were eating, what was it, like first floor antipasto, second floor appetizers, third floor dinner, top floor dessert? Is that how it worked out?
No, it was like entree every floor.
Just full-blown meal. That's how it works. Just forcing food upon you.
Times have changed, man. Wish it was still like that.
It's weird because, I went to Catholic school, and I don't know, there may be 20, 25 kids in the school, and, like 85% of the kids in my class were Italian. 85%. And it's like, we moved to Yonkers, and, it was totally different.
It's like culture shock.
It was culture shock for me, 100%, because that area, there were clusters of people, throughout the Bronx. I mean, there was the Irish neighborhood, there was the Italian neighborhood, and so on and so forth. And, there's a lot more diversity today than I grew up with. And there's huge advantages to that, as there's huge advantages to staying within your community. And let me tell you something. You heard a lot more Italian on the streets in the Bronx back in the day. I can tell you.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, Rhodea's over here just pumping out one-liners in the chat. So shout out to Rhodea over here, just pumping them out. I love it.
We're in Rhode Island, and I have to tell you, the amount of people that he draws, I call it Rhodea Island this week. It's pretty amazing what he's been able.
They're all eating Rodizio tonight.
Oh man, he's doing unbelievable things in comedy.
No, it's crazy.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy.
People love him.
Because if you follow, especially if you're Italian American, everything hits home. It hits. Yeah. That's why it's 1,000 times funnier than to a normal person going to see the show. Like, you've seen and heard it a million times.
He nails it. He nails it.
Well, his gift is this. He's the most authentic Italian American comedian today. There's other Italian American comedians, okay, and who maybe some are more successful than he is right now, but that's on hold. But there's nobody doing Italian American comedy that is more authentic than Anthony Rhodea.
You guys are like Jordan and Pippen right now. So it's
you know what? I mean, we've been very, very lucky. And, I tell a joke sometimes before I introduce Anthony. And I tell the crowd, I said, Anthony's so popular that I'm making money from it.
That's true. That's true.
And the crowd dies laughing. I'm like, I don't care.
That's the best intro right there. That's why you're best in the biz over there. That's how you intro it. That's how you do it.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. I mean, we have a great relationship off stage, so it makes it a lot easier. I mean, we haven't even come close to having one argument on anything, and we break each other's balls like two Italian guys would.
That's how. I mean, that comes with the territory. Like, if you're not breaking balls, what are you doing?
Yeah, and people, we don't know. When you're Italian, and and you bust each other's chops. There's no sensitivity there. Like you never get two Italian guys make fun of each other, and then one Italian guy goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that."
Yeah, come on, man. Like, what are you saying?
There's no line that you could cross.
You hurt my feelings. Yeah, you never see an Italian guy. You hurt my feelings. Yeah. If you assault another Italian guy, you know what he says to me? He goes, "You know, that was a good one. You really did."
Yeah. Or you're going to try and say something even worse back to them.
And they're dying laughing. Like you're crucifying them and they're dying laughing.
It's such an Italian thing.
It's crazy.
And you know, today's world is very politically correct. So, you know, a lot of people don't get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, like you say something to somebody and they go, "What's the matter? You don't like him?" No, I love the guy. You don't understand.
Yeah.
I just can't stand him.
Yeah.
You know, and that's part of our culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be like that. I mean, I remember growing up, we would argue at the dinner table. You thought we were going to kill each other, take a knife and fork to each other. But at the end, it's like, hey, all right, let's all go for a walk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how my grandmother, my father were at the dinner table. We're out to eat, just like full blown fight, and then we're having calamad. Like the next minute, like nothing happened. The waiter was like shaking, like giving us like water.
You know, in an Italian family, you learn to have no memory when it comes to arguments. It's over. That's it. It came out. You said it. Okay, next. Let's go. Move
That's
on.
Italian therapy right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
100%.
All right. So before comedy, I want to stir the pot a little bit. You played for the Giants and Jets, signed as a free agent. I want to know which team you like playing for more, and which team has the best and craziest fans.
Well, you know, I signed free agent contracts, you know, when I got out of college, first with the Jets, then went to Giants. I didn't make either team, but it was a great honor to wear both uniforms. You know, I had the same emotion for both the teams because even though I grew up in the Bronx and whatnot, I'm a lifelong Kansas City Chiefs fan.
That's true. That's true.
Big time. 50 years, Kansas City Chiefs. I go out to Kansas City to the games. I love the Giants and Jets and the opportunities that they gave me. My father was a huge Giant fan. He was besides himself when I saw
like the Vince Papali. You're like,
well, I wasn't a bartender, but but it's funny you mentioned that because they told me that I was the first person to sign a professional contract for Mike Owens. So that was an honor. And I played very small D3 ball. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, you consider that of all the tens of thousands of college football players there are, they, you know, the year I was there, they maybe signed like 1,100 guys, and I was one of them. So, you know, I was very happy for that. And then, you know, it was a great experience. And, you know, I did it.
I think they still need to sell like Goumba Johnny, like Jets and Giants jersey. You got to get that on the market or something. People will buy that.
I
sell these throwbacks.
I will say this.
Pop.
There are some Goumba Met jerseys going around.
I'm a Mets fan. So he's a Yankee. I'm a Mets fan. Rodeo said you're a Mets fan, so we're all good there.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question for you. You're a Mets fan.
Oh, Met fan.
He already did the digging.
Let's go Mets, baby.
Brody is a hardcore Yankee fan. He's a baseball nut. He's an ex-baseball player. And he's like, how do you like the Mets? You're from the Bronx. How do you like the Mets? You're from the Bronx. How do you like the Mets? You're from the Bronx. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. But I will say this. Comedy-wise, if you take all the comedians that are Met fans, start with Jerry Seinfeld, go to Chris Rock, go to James, go to Ray Romano, go to Colin Quinn. I can go on and on and on. For whatever reason, comedians identify, obviously your friend's not a comedian, but comedians identify with the Mets. I don't even know why that's like that. It's not even like we all get together and we all got together and said, all right, let's root for the Mets. That wasn't the case. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's the rejection.
I think you guys like the misery and it's funny.
You guys need to find a way to make each other laugh.
Yeah.
Well, there's the Yankees are great. There's nothing funny about the Yankees.
A lot of good icebreakers with the Mets.
Yeah, there's a lot of jokes with the Mets. You know, it's funny. I did I'll tell you real quickly. I did a benefit at Citi Field, and I don't know. Have you guys been to Citi Field?
Yeah.
And Ron Darling was there. Mets announcer, famous Met pitcher from the '86 championship.
Yep.
And I got on stage and I grabbed the microphone and I said, this Citi Field, I said, it looks to me like they built a food court. And then they said, you know what this food court needs? It needs a baseball field. And
Yo, the whole thing's a food court. You're right.
Yeah. And he spit up his drink. And he goes, you're right. Because I went to Citi Field and they have a Shake Shack out there. In left field. And
people miss like 7 innings to go to Shake Shack.
Yeah, and there's a line.
Yeah.
And I'm yelling at the people, hey, dude, there's Shake Shacks throughout the whole city.
Everywhere.
Did you come here? Did you pay $100 for a ticket to get online?
No. I walk past it, I look at him like, nope, can't go. People wait 6, 7 innings to get a burger. I'm like, what's going on here?
I'll tell you that the best thing in Citi Field, if you ever go, is the spicy chicken sandwich at Fuku, Fuku, and it's not dead center. It's like right center, and in the back. It is the best chicken sandwich I've ever had.
That sounds like a Chinese curse word.
It's not, but it's. I don't care what it is.
It's good. I'm gonna check it out. Definitely. I love the food there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to check this out because we're big. We have a huge thing with chicken sandwiches. We've been trying all the chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
Popeyes has been like reigning.
No, to me, this is number one.
We're gonna have to go get it.
And I enjoy the Shake Shack chicken.
We're gonna have to do when we go to the Mets game. We're gonna send you a video of like the one bite.
We'll go to Yankees Mets and we'll do it.
Man,
that's one thing I will give the Mets. Citi Field, like once they built a new Yankee Stadium, and which I was like, how are they going to tear down Yankee Stadium? It's like tearing down Fenway. It's like couldn't believe they were doing it. Then they rebuilt it, and I'm like, then they built Citi Field. I'm like, look at Citi Field. Look at everything they have. Look at how beautiful it is. And then Yankee Stadium's like, all right, it's brand new, but what'd you really do?
The difference is that, you have all the tradition in the Yankees, and their stadium's like a cathedral. And,
I couldn't believe they tore it down. I couldn't believe it did.
And Citi Field is like a food court with a baseball field.
That's the difference in franchises.
No, you laugh, but that's what people want today. That's
100%.
the experience. That's the experience they want to go to the park. And you can be ordering food in Citi Field and still watch the game.
Yeah.
I love Citi Field.
No, it's great. McFadden's is great. You ever go to McFadden's over there? I go there for a pregame. It's like, costs you like $1,000 to get 2 beers, but it's a good vibe.
Yeah.
All right.
What else you guys want to know?
All right, moving on from the sports. It's in the 90s. You were with KTU early on. You were writing jokes. You were a writer. And then they brought you on. I believe they brought you on like later on at night. And then they were like, this guy's so great. They put you on the morning show. So tell us a little bit about how you went through the ranks over there.
We started at night. Hollywood Hamilton and I, we had the #1 nighttime show in the country for 2 years. And then we got the mornings. Very, very simple.
Yeah, and you guys were at like the height.
Modest Mouse over here, like, just do it at night.
Well, it was the #1 station in the country. So
it was unreal at that time too. Like you were there, but the Yankees were banging, the Knicks were good, the height of dance music. You guys were killing it.
Yeah, it was a great time to be a part of that.
Now, you've met pretty much so many people in the entertainment industry. Have you ever been starstruck by someone you met?
Only one time during an interview with Olivia Newton-John. Because of Grease.
It's a good one.
I'm like, I can't believe I'm sitting next to Sandy D.
Did you call her Sandy?
Yeah, I did. And believe me, I was the 1 millionth person that did.
Yeah.
I did it intentionally.
But you got the charm, so like that probably worked the 1 millionth time.
No, I was starstruck, and she didn't disappoint. She was everything I thought she was. She was, her beauty came from the inside out. She was just a wonderful person.
That's awesome.
Oh, good stuff. All right, so you're on tour with Anthony right now. You have a podcast called Little Bit of Laughs.
A lot of laughs, too.
So how did you guys hook up And you talked about your relationship before. You guys
Yeah.
had a great relationship, breaking each other's balls. How did you guys hook up and really take off together?
We met at a charity that Chaz Palminteri had in the city, and we pretty much instantly became friends, and then soon thereafter became working partners. I didn't know who he was; he didn't know who I was, and very organic, and we just kind of worked from the beginning. It was like, again, it was very, for me, it was very faithful.
Yeah, it's a perfect combo. Like you said, it's unique, it's organic, and like it flows so well, you guys together. So it's awesome. So
Yeah.
now, we talk about a lot about Italian stuff. Give us 3 irrational Italian superstitions or traditions that Italians do. Your top 3.
My top one by far is the St. Joseph burying in the backyard.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know if you could top that. I don't.
We did it.
I
I
can't.
remember we had it buried by my parents' pool. Had to find it in the rocks. When we moved from down that north to Nutley, we had to, like 6 hours digging around the pool because no one could remember where they buried it how many years ago.
Yeah. And the hat on the bed. I don't know if you guys know the story about that.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, you're not supposed to put a hat on a bed because back in the day when people died, they died at home, and the priest would come and give them the last rites, and he would always put the hat on the bed.
I've heard no hat on the table, never on the bed. Wow.
Yeah, that one, and the salt, that one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
so many. How about when you get the new car, you put like the money in your car, like the dollar bills in a car? I think I took a girl out one time, and she was like, "Why is there singles on your floor?" I was like, I got nervous. I just said, I was like, "It's for the valet guy. It's for the valet guy."
I know. Italian cars look like a pizzeria when it opens up. Like, good luck, and they put it on.
Yeah, just money. Like, what do you like?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, so last thing, we like to play games on this show. So we have a quick game based off your bit where Jesus was Italian, where it's one of my favorite things. Our family loves it. Where you made a compelling argument that Jesus was Italian. You came up with a bunch of things, just like, he was a carpenter. That's Italian. So we have 5 like random public figures that are non-Italian.
Right.
Give us one reason why these non-Italians are Italian. Okay? One reason. You go first.
All right. So this one, a lot of people probably think is all Italian.
Right.
Andrew Dice Clay.
He's been making millions of dollars acting like an Italian from the 80s. I mean, I don't know what more you want. I know he's Jewish, and I've had the pleasure of working with Andrew, and he's a great guy. We actually have the same birthday.
That's a legendary birthday right there.
Yeah, me, him, and Russell Peters are born on September 29th. And he capitalized on being Italian before another Italian could even think about it. So hats off to him.
All right, next one. One of my favorite girls of all time, J-Lo.
I worked at the station 4 years with Jennifer's sister, Linda.
Yes.
And I got to see, I got to know the family, the mom, and I got to see Jennifer quite often. And there is not 1 ounce of her that is Italian. She is the perfect Puerto Rican. That's all I have to say about Jennifer.
Just straight Puerto Rican.
There's nothing Italian. I can't even think of anything. I wouldn't even want to touch it. She's perfect.
That's Puerto Rican.
Yeah. She's the perfect Puerto Rican as far as I'm concerned.
She's a perfect everything.
Her sister is equally beautiful too. Her sister Linda is the whole family's very attractive. The mother's a good-looking woman too.
They're aging like Italian wine. I tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look. Jennifer looks great.
Yeah, she's like aging like Benjamin Button over there, like reverse.
She's got it's easy to age like that when you're worth like $400 or $500 million.
Yeah,
that's
true. You got people cooking for you. All you gotta do is work out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. You guys don't have a chef like she does. So
No.
A train.
Sometimes that's it.
There you go.
I cook on Sundays. That's as big as it gets for us.
Yeah, but the genetics are there.
Yeah. All right, next. Colonel Sanders.
I don't know if you can make Colonel Sanders Italian. I mean,
I don't know.
you know, I mean, he's Italian because he loves food, like Italians love food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he knows how to get his way with food, like Italians do.
That's Italian.
That's Italian.
All right, next one. Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton. That's easy. He spent 8 years being in charge of the most powerful mafia family in the world, the American government.
Yep.
That's Italian.
That's
Very
Italian.
Italian.
Yeah.
And he had his goumbaj in the Oval Office. Yeah, Monica in the office.
That's Italian.
You can go on and on about him.
Yeah.
He's too Italian. Like he's
He
way
was
too
Billy.
Italian.
Yeah.
Everybody loved Billy, man. All right, last one. Popeye.
Who?
Popeye.
Oh, Popeye. I don't know. Probably because he was ready to kick the shit out of people at the right time. You know what I mean?
If you owed him money, it'd be a wrap.
Yeah, you don't want to owe Popeye money, or you didn't want to fool around with his girlfriend either. You know what I
And
mean?
his girlfriend was olive oil. How Italian is that?
Well, that's. I should be asking you the questions. That's a better, that's a better answer than I
He
am.
was crazy for olive oil again.
Hey, that wraps up the interview. You know, you got to make some people laugh tonight in Rhode Island. Let the people know, you know, what you're doing with Anthony, where they can find you. And I know when you guys are playing at West Nyack, it's going to be full-blown North Jersey coming at you guys. We'll be at the show.
I mean, we got a lot of gigs coming up. We're going to be in Florida at the Hard Rock Casino with the first live entertainment they're doing since the pandemic. That's April 3rd at the Hard Rock in Fort Lauderdale. The day before Easter, Anthony and I flying down there. We're doing 2 shows. I think one's at 6:30 and 8:30. We're very excited about that. You can go to RhodeaComedy.com and you can get some tickets there, but it's at the Hard Rock. If you know anybody in the Florida area, let them know.
Absolutely, we do. We do.
And as far as the schedule goes, I just I don't know. Anthony does all that stuff. I just show up. He like
That's the best way to be. It's the best way to be.
like I'll ask him. I'm like, where we're going to be in 2 weeks, and he goes, "I told you." I said, I wasn't paying attention. What you said?
Just give me the ticket. Let's go.
That's him, and I'm asking him all the time, like, what time? Where we going? Who we got? What's happening?
How you guys making out with the music?
We're doing good.
We're doing well.
You know what? It's such an honor to have you on because you're such a big influence on us, both of us. Like everyone in the world, we were like, when we first started, we said, we got to interview Goumba Johnny because literally, like, you were everything for us growing up. You gave us everything that we want to give back to people. You gave, like, you were on KTU, Best Dance Music, and you gave us, like, comedy nonstop. My mother still talks about some of the prank phone calls that you had about, like, the one person you were saying that the pet couldn't be on the airport and stuff like that. So we grew up with you giving us comedy, with you giving us music, and that's what we want to give back to people, and you're such an inspiration for us. So this was like, it's a dream come true for you to come on for us, and we really appreciate it.
Hey, look, you know, it's an honor for me too. You know, to still be working and to be relevant, you know, at this far in my career is really, really great. And there's nothing better than you know, making people happy or laugh through music and comedy, and it's a great way to make a living.
Absolutely. And like I said, we just want to thank you so much. This was like, we're starstruck. We asked you the question about starstruck. You're our Olivia Newton-John right now, and we're starstruck. So
I was telling him before, he's coming home before. I'm like, dude, I got to have like a beer. I'm like super nervous. And we interview people. I'm never nervous. I sit down like 10 minutes before. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. I was like, I'm like thinking about this all day. I'm super nervous. Like I was telling my friends, we're interviewing Goumba Johnny. You got to watch. They're like, shut up. Goumba Johnny. You're Goumba Johnny? I'm like, yeah, dude, you got to watch.
And I botched the Wally Pip one. You're not Wally Pip.
He's Lou Gehrig.
Yeah, you're Lou Gehrig, the one coming. I meant you're Lou Gehrig coming in for Wally.
He's Wally Pip, the guy that didn't show up.
You're Lou Gehrig in this scenario. I just want to confirm that. Lou Gehrig.
Thank you for making me feel older than what I am.
Hey, like I said, thank you so much for coming on. We know your time is
Anytime.
valuable. We said a half hour. We're a minute over. We love you, though. Thank you so much.
Don't worry about it. You're a Yankee fan, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to leave you with a great Yankee story.
All right.
I was working in the mornings, and I was working with RuPaul and Michelle Visage. And they hooked up an interview with Derek Jeter live from Spring Training. So we get Derek Jeter on the phone live on KTU. This is all a true story. And I could tell you, I think it was probably around 1998. Or maybe before. It was in the 90s, maybe 97. And we get on, and I go, no, we're talking to Derek Jeter, and I go through a series of questions, and about the team, and then RuPaul, who didn't really know much about baseball, if not nothing. He goes, "Hi, Derek, how are you? This is RuPaul." And Derek goes, "Hi, RuPaul, how you doing?" And he goes, so he goes, "I have a question." He goes, "What's your favorite food?" So Derek goes, "Excuse me?" So he goes, "Well, what's your favorite food?" So he goes, "I don't know." You can see, like, he was like, he goes, "Pizza? I guess pizza." So I goes, "Okay, all right." He goes, "All right, my next question is, do you know Andy Pettit?" So he goes, "What?" He goes, "Do you know Andy Pettit?" He goes, "Well, he's my teammate." He goes, "Yes, I know." He goes, "Well, I think he's really cute. Can you get me his phone number?" And you could hear Derek Jeter put the phone down. He goes, "Hey, who got this interview? Well, are you? What is this? Is this real?"
It's
It
just
was
right.
one of the funniest things I've ever. It's probably the funniest moment I had on the radio ever. I could not stop laughing. The interview was over. It was great.
Oh my God.
RuPaul was in love with Andy Pettit. He thought he was the.
Andy Pettit should have came out to a RuPaul song after that.
Yeah, I don't know if Andy Pettit found out, but man, I'll tell you, RuPaul was funny, man, and he's doing great things now.
He is.
No, but anyway, I gotta go.
Hey,
all right.
Thank you so much
for your time. We appreciate
West
it. More
Nyack,
than you know.
West Nyack, North Jersey's coming for you. We'll see you
All
guys
right,
there.
well, I'll see you guys there. Good luck.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys.
You will.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.